So hello everyone. I believe we should start the webinar now. My name is Shripad and I'm your host for the day. Welcome to the exclusive global webinar on fiber network, where we will talk from strategy to splice that will boost your fiber network with GIS Inventory System. Also, let me tell you that all the attendees who will be with us till the end of this show will get free consultation worth $1,000, where we will analyze your network with Lepton's FiberGeoSuite for 2 weeks. Wow. So I definitely recommend not to miss the one-time opportunity and stay with us till the end. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type your questions in the Q&A section, which you will see on the left-hand side of your screen. We have already received a couple of questions in advance at the time of registration, and we are going to address those questions at the end of in our Q&A session. Also, today in this webinar, we are going to go a bit in detail. So we may extend this webinar by a few minutes. I'm sure that's going to help you at the end of the day. So I'm not going to take any more time, and allow me to introduce to our two speakers of the day, Mr. Shamindra. Hey, hi, Shamindra. Shamindra. Hey, Shamindra is our global product head. And I would also like to welcome Mr. Rajesh Mehta, global sales head. Hi, Rajesh.
Hi, Shripad. Thanks. And hi, everyone.
So I'm not going to take any more time, and let's begin with today's show. Rajesh, over to you.
Thanks, Shripad. I hope all of you are doing good. Let me walk you through the agenda of today's webinar. The first item that I'll take is the rise of fiber and the telecom market trends. Then we are going to talk about fiber rollouts, the challenges that we are facing. And as we all aware that the fiber network itself goes through a typical life cycle. There's a planning stage, then there's a as-built stage, operation stage, customer experience, and so we are going to talk about how these days the innovative companies are stitching all the pieces together and providing the competitive solution as well as innovative solutions. Then the next item that I'm going to talk about will be the how the digital disruption is helping the fiber rollout or the fiber network management in a most cost-effective way. Then finally, we are going to talk about how Lepton products and services are going to help you to boost up your fiber management plan. Okay, so the telecom market trend. So what we are seeing is that, of course, for the past 1.5 years, we all have been impacted by the COVID-19, and in the near future also, the COVID-19 is going to lead the way we are consuming the data, as well as for the telcos, is going to define how their business strategy will be going to be. The emerging technologies such as the 5G and the FTTX is going to lead the telcos businesses as well as the growth areas. The remote access trend is going to continue for some more time. And in fact, now what we are seeing is it's kind of a hybrid model where some of the workforce is working from home and some of them are going to offices. So it's from the experience point of view, whether you are into a B2B or B2C services, you want a unified experience. So and then also we are consuming a lot more digital data these days. The Netflix and all these OTT platform, they are consuming a lot of internet traffic. So now that is giving a not only the challenge, but also an opportunities for the telecom service provider to provide innovative solution. And that's where we are seeing that, more and more telcos are adopting the FTTX technologies and the fiber-based network to satisfy the consumer needs. And then and this is going to continue for some more time. And then the next disruption that we are seeing is that we want to be connected everything, whether we are commuting, or we are with our smartphone, the smart devices, smart homes, smart cities. So IoT is going to play a vital role in the years to come. Okay, now it is forecasted that FTTX itself is going to generate about massive $700 billion of economic value in the next 5 years. So it's a great opportunities for the telcos. And in fact, the enterprise business is going to cover 68% of the market. The significant disruption in the GPON is going to continue with the advancement in the optical fiber networks. And the telcos are going to emphasize more and more on the high bandwidth and low latency, leading to the positive growth in the GPON solutions. So with that, I'll hand it over to my colleague Shemendra to talk about fiber rollout challenges.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thanks for giving us the context. And first of all, I hope all of you can hear me all right. So thanks for giving the context. And indeed, it is very true that in last 1 or 2 years, especially, the kind of transformation that all of us have seen and experienced very close to us, be it our homes, be it our offices, be it our schools or hospitals, the kind of transformation, the kind of digitalization we have seen, right? Fiber has been the very pillar on which all this transformation stands. And even not only that, other industries, be it 5G, be it connected factories or Industry 4.0, all those things, fiber is the real catalyst or the driving engine. I would say that yes, in the digital room or in the telecom room, fiber is that elephant who is oftenly and surprisingly enough, who is oftenly ignored. That fiber strand carrying the light, carrying the light in the form of the signal in the form of the light. So, but let's see, yes, fiber is great. That is the transformational force. But what are the challenges that we are facing? Why it is still not everywhere? And obviously, the answer is simple, that there are challenges. So let's see what typical challenges ISPs, fiber cos, telcos are facing in rolling out those fiber. First and foremost, I'm sure everyone will agree that the fiber rollout is costly and time consuming. There are so many factors that add up to it, be it simply electronics equipment and commissioning in the POP, in the data centers, be it the construction, be it the outdoor elements, or the right of way, the authorities, right, or simply the labor cost. All of them are adding up, and they are making the whole rollout quite a time-consuming process. There is enough data that suggests that a mile of rollout of fiber can take anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000, and a home drop can take anywhere between $600 to $1,500 per home drop. And surprisingly enough, countries like India and some of the growing economies, they are falling on the higher end of the pyramid when it comes to the cost of rolling out the fiber. And construction and the labor cost, the data suggests that happens to be 70% of the overall cost. And speaking specifically on the construction, they turn out to be the kind of showstoppers, that they are the one who throw the plan off track most of the times. No matter how good we plan, we have got smart contractors, we have got nice planning, but you find the real life situations, so many of them, obstructions, uncooperative housing societies, or the approvals, so many of them, enough factor to throw the plan from for a toss. And then you have the network rolled out, and in the operations, fiber cuts. If I may say, fiber cut is the single nemesis of the ISPs or the fiber companies. Thousands of fiber cuts around. You have underground fiber. Then thanks to JCBs all over the road expansion, the new infrastructure. Once again, in the emerging economies, there are so many things. Always looking out for the fiber, looking out for the reason that that add up to the fiber cut. You have got overhead fibers, then there are tree falling and many other things, or simple sabotage. They are happening and they're adding to the fiber cuts. And then the maintenance turns out to be very, very tedious. There is enough data to suggest that fiber cut can take anywhere between 4 hours to 6 hours to restore, and 70 to 80% of that time goes in precisely locating the fiber cut. And then rest of 20-30% goes in restoring it. And that results in huge revenue loss, customer dissatisfaction, churn, many things. We don't go into that. And then there's a long ROI cycle. As we all know, that there is a huge upfront cost, and of course you don't pass that cost to the consumer. So the ROI is long. So basically, what's the point of all this story that we already know? Just to drive home a single message that fiber is a precious asset, an asset that is not very easy, not very, very cheap to roll out, and that also takes a lot of efforts to maintain. So that means to manage the whole fiber, we need to have the process, the technology, and the solutions completely backing you up to actually derive the efficiency or derive the optimum process that you want to achieve in managing the whole process. So let's speak about these 2-3 factors. Let's talk about the process first. Let's see, that what's the life cycle, how the different phases look like. In last 1 decade or so, there has been a lot of work being done to stitch those pieces together. But still, I would say there are questions staring in our face, right, which we are struggling to find the answer. And I think we are still some distance away from the stage that we want to reach in terms of gaining those efficiency in the whole life cycle. Let's look at this very simple life cycle that you see on the screen. It's a typical process of rolling out the fiber. It starts with market analysis. It gets into plan and design phase. You build the network, you operate the network, and you of course monetize the whole network. There will be, there will immediately be an observation that operate and sell, they go in parallel. They don't necessarily have to go in sequence. That's purely, the liberty I took to actually just streamline or to simplify the depiction. And then there is an optimization, which is always a continuous process. You continuously need to optimize the network. You need to increase the customer experience. You need to increase the network experience, and the cycle goes back. So what are the questions that we face in the whole life cycle? Very first, the market analysis. And the question is, where to expand? And now, in the course of 2 years or so, I would say there's a whole array of data sources that have been made available to us. There are demographic data, there are network data, there is social media, there are maps. And so a lot of static and dynamic data is being made available now. However, I would say, and I'm sure many of you will agree, that expansion is still a decision that gets taken on either intuition, on some other basic level factors with respect to population and market potential. While we need very scientific, data-based and algorithm-based decision-making tool that really helps us pinpoint precisely the area that we should be focusing on. And then comes the plan and design. I would say it's a Pandora box in itself. A typical plan and design, if I had to talk about the ecosystem for a telco or an ISP, it will turn out to be a big assortment of Excel files, CAD files, map files, different tools. I have been associated with telcos and other infracos who have been using more than 5 different GIS tools. Every department is using their own tools, right? You get a request, you pull out an Excel sheet, you have 2,000 fiber routes in that Excel sheet. You see, okay, I've got this, but I don't know whether spare fiber is there or not, dark fiber is there or not, right? And then somebody opens its own individual tool, tries to find out the two departments they need, there is a passing of KML, KMZ files, AutoCAD, all those kind of files. So, the whole of that ecosystem looks like different islands all scattered together. And then the network build, I would say, is a continuous catch up. It's a catch up race. The field contractors, the field engineers, they are going on with their work day in and day out. They are churning out as built, and the GIS system is sitting aloof. So as built update still happens to be, I would say, the number one problems of the fiber cores, right? Despite the fact that there is a lot of work being done on this, but still it's again, a pile of as built files that still exist for us. And then operations again, the same stories. We know we have the zones, we have the regions, right? And in every region there are people who know their teams, who know who is the best person to fix the problem. So that again needs a lot of transformation. And then comes the sell part. I would say the most important part, closest to the heart of any ISP, any telco, ability to monetize. And I have my own personal experiences to share over here. That in one of, I happened to shift back to the city relatively new a couple of months ago, and I was looking for simply a high-speed broadband connection. I logged into the customer care portal of one of the leading telcos, and that showed me 2 Mbps connection available in your area. I saw 2 Mbps. Who talks about 2 Mbps now? So thankfully, I happened to speak to the customer care executive. He says, no, sir, we have got 1 Gbps in your area. So that is enough to tell the state of affairs today when it comes to doing the service qualification, or when it comes to actually ability to have the visibility of what kind of network and what kind of resources exist that can be monetized. And other way around as well. I mean, I went to the portals of some other ISPs. They showed that they have the connection, but 2 days later I get a call from them, we don't have the network in your area. So the story exists both ways, which needs immediate attention. And optimization, once again, the same thing. There is a lot of data available, but still the decisions are ad hoc. They are on, they are in the brain of few people who are in charge of the network. And we need to go to scientific, algorithm-based, analytics-based, and data-based decision-making system. So that takes us to the point that where we want to go. Market analysis, we need strategic decisions, we need database decisions. Plan and design, we need an enterprise-wide system of records, which takes away all the silos, individual systems, individual files. They all merge into that and gives you the single visibility of the data, not only just the GIS data that acts as a single platform and plugs in all the related ecosystem, be it the customer, be it the services, be it the leads, or be it the network. And in the network build, the most single important factor is the ability to digitize at the source, ability to give the power to your field engineers to record the changes that they are making and synchronizing. So both the things, your GIS system and the field updates, they sync hand on hand, and you get into and you avoid those situations which you typically get into selling the network. And then operations, yes, you want to mobilize efficiently. You want to locate the fiber cuts quickly. You want to mobilize the best person on the field so that your network is operating at best levels. And similarly on selling, you want to qualify the leads accurately, not something that changes every 2 days. You want to qualify accurately. You get an enterprise service request. You don't want weeks to go back. You want to go back with a service proposal in a matter of days, not in the week. And similarly, optimize your network. You want to see what kind of customer experience you are getting, where you are not able to provide the promised SLAs, where the network is underutilized. You want the decision making on the actual real-time data, not just on the not just on the gut feel, or not just based on the experience of the individual. So that's the state we want to reach. And of course, I would say that please feel free. Please type in your questions as I speak, and we will take all of them. At least we'll try to take all of them towards the end. Even if not, I promise you we'll reach out to you over the emails. So please do type in your questions. Now we move from process to the technology landscape. Similarly, just to process, technology also landscape has been changing, lot has been done, but still there is a gap between our legacy, where we stand today, and where we can potentially move in the digital way. So with respect to technology landscape, I picked up 6 key pillars. Of course, I'm sure there will be so many of them. If we start discussing interactively, I'm sure there will be so many pillars of technology which actually are important, which comprise true enterprise grade GIS system or true OSS grade system. So very first one is the data. The data, we have got lots of legacy data. We have got old map data. We have got some other network data. There's a whole lots of legacy data available with every company. That is, that's waiting to be transformed. And then we have got legacy applications. When we ask ourselves a question that how the business has transformed in last few years, the way we onboard the customers, the way we retain the customers, the way we build them, it has completely changed in last 2 years or so. Have our applications, legacy applications, changed accordingly? How much time does it take to upgrade the applications or to bring the new model? Right? I would say that many of the known players, many of the known, be it those OSS systems, assurance system, GIS system, they are still sitting on the legacy applications, which need to come on the new business model. And similarly, the technologies, it's the same story. In last few years, again, the digitalization or the digital technologies have come a long way. Is our system giving us the ability to exploit all of those technology? Be it AI, be it computer vision, be it those 3D maps. Are we able to exploit those technologies, or are we still, are still doing the things in the traditional way? That's another thing. And then, of course, the licensing cost, big capex, big MNS, still continuing with most of the applications. And the interfaces. A lot of work, again, has been done, but I think still a lot of that remains on talk as well. The CRM, the assurance system, the GIS system, the billing and the activation, the whole ecosystem, the whole OSS ecosystem, while it needs to work as a single integrated business process, but we do see that there is a lot to be desired there in achieving that integration. So interfaces are siloed, they are all customized, they are P2P, and those, that begs to be, the whole organizational processes are to be mapped. And the infrastructure, legacy infrastructure goes out of, becomes obsolete very, very quick, needs costly upgrades. And then the way the speed at which the whole technology is moving, again, it's always in a catch-up mode. So what do? Let's see what is required to create a true digital twin and a single source of truth enterprise grade fiber management system. What do you need? The data, first of all, the data transformation is required. Online maps give way, offline data gives way to the online maps. The online data, lots of data sources are available, right? And not only that, even your legacy data needs to get onboarded with the with the new platform, and you need interoperable system, which means data interoperability as well as OSS application interoperability. Basically, integrating the whole chain, working in tandem with all the systems. So that is what you require in terms of transforming the application, and applications which are a lot more nimble, which are agile, which support DevOps, which do not, their provisioning time is from months or years to 2 weeks. Their upgrade time is matter of hours rather than requiring weeks of transformation. And then the digital transformation. It is, it has to be an enabler for the latest technologies. You want to use 3D maps, you want to use the true digital models, you want to use AI-based image processing to do the automatic planning, you want augmented reality-based features for your mobile force, right? So all those technologies, the platform has to be the enabler. It has to be that platform around which all the technologies revolve, right? And acts as a single platform to enable that. And the licenses, the open source, right? Open source has matured a lot, very proven, very latest and sophisticated. The platforms are built, highly matured platform on the open source, which take away the legacy licensing requirement. Not only just the requirement, also the mode in which it is licensed. It could be hosted model, it could be as you pay as you go model, all those kind of things. And we talk about standardization. TM forum based interface, which cover the entire stack of your resource management, operations, services. So well-defined interfaces. Your application has to be complying to those interfaces that make the integration task very easy. Otherwise, we all know integration is nothing short of a big project in itself. And then infrastructure. I think clouds have come to the rescue. It has to be cloud native. Many of the applications still not supporting it. The system has to be cloud native. It needs to provide the hosted model, pay as you go, whole lot of benefits. It keeps on scaling. We don't have to go into that much as of now. So that's what, that's the stage that technology takes us to. Now let's, so lot of talk about where we aspire to reach. Now let's see, I will take 10 minutes to actually see how Lepton can help reach the goal that we are talking about. So Lepton has got network access FiberGeoSuite, and end-to-end fiber modeling, management, planning, and rollout tool. It starts with smart inventory. It lets you create a true digital replica, gives you a web-based interface, and model end-to-end networks. Smart planner, you have got the complete greenfield rollout, FTTX plan automation. You give some inputs, and straight away it impacts and hits the KPIs positively. Cost of planning, your time to market, your ability to market, your planning accuracy, it straight away gives a significant advantage there. Mean time to repair with smart operations, your ability to mobilize the field crew, your ability to sustain efficient operations, network operations, and the KPIs that it impacts straight away is mean time to repair, your network uptime, crew efficiencies, all those things. And then smart service qualification, ability to sell the network, ability to monetize the network, your turnaround time that you take to go back to your customer with the service visibility and proposals and the truck rolls. And then we have got Neo 360, purely network experience and customer experience system. It helps you increase the network utilization, network performance, and the customer experience. And all of that thing available as fiber management as a service. You don't have to big upfront installation, big customizations, everything available as a hosted service, all end-to-end fiber process. The USPs we have talked about, it is cloud native. It's cloud native architecture. It's available in the hosted mode. You don't have to deploy anything. Then full featured web and mobile. No more traditional desktop applications. You don't need Citrix or application managers or RDPs, all those things. Everything available, full featured web, very user friendly. No specialized technical training required. Fully integrated mobile app is available. And then the API, REST API is available. You want to integrate the capabilities into the CRM, into the third-party applications. The APIs are available to do that. And then it's an integrated framework. The whole product stack that we talked about, they're all integrated. They are able to make use of the capabilities of each other to build a complete, end-to-end process for you. So it's a fully integrated framework. Technology platform, it's on the latest technology platform, open source technologies. There are no closed-ended platforms for which you need only specific people. It's quite easy to maintain and very scalable, very flexible. Standard-based, OGC compliant interfaces, TM forum compliant interfaces, so that when you want to integrate with assurance system, you want to integrate with CRM, you want to integrate with ticketing management, you know what kind of interfaces you can expect, and you start the integration immediately. What I'm going to do is in next 10 minutes before we come to the question answer, I just give you a more glimpse into how the system looks like and how it helps you implement the whole process. Like the digitalization journey, the very first one, of course, it starts with modeling the network. You need to be able to model the network, be it the FTTX networks, be it the long distance networks, it can be, not only just the network, the whole civil infrastructure of trenches, ducts, micro duct, this whole, whole domain in itself. We all know that ability to do that. Then your ability to actually model those last fiber strand level connectivity and splicing and the schematics, everything, that needs to be modeled. And not only just outside plant, you need the ability to model the inside plant as well, all the equipment. It gives you the template library, and then all the OEMs and the templates are already pre-configured. You use them, you can create your own templates, and then you model the equipment. So once that is done, you start onboarding the legacy data. We have got the data loader tools which support a variety of legacy formats. You just simply map the source and target data models. It starts loading the data. We have got the transformation framework, the whole data transformation framework, and the QC routines. So once that is done, you go to you start the network creation, new planning. Maybe what I will do is I will just show you a very quick video, 30 seconds, 1 minute video, only to depict or demonstrate that, how easily you are able to create a new network. It provides you all the guidance so that, the chances of error are very less. What you see is just a snapshot. On the right side, you see the complete tool library. You select what you want to create, and then you make just few selections about the specifications and the vendors, what kind you want to create. You make it and then you start creating. You start giving the data points for creation of the cable. You select it. Now this one is only to demonstrate the manual one. In a minute, I will also demonstrate the automatic one, where you don't even need to enter all these things, where the chances of error are further gone. So you just see cable is created. All the underlying infrastructure is also created. You can see the manholes all around at every 100 meters, 200 meters based on that. And then you are creating new manholes. You select the template, and then you start just plotting the points where you want to create the manholes. There is a digital twin functionality available that, you create the twin and you just start pointing out, and it will create the same manholes or the same object everywhere. And you can see the whole library of the objects that you want to create. So it is just as simple as that. So it gets done. So that was the manual one. Now in a minute, I will come to the automatic one. Let's look at the automatic planning as well. So you create a plan, you give the planning name, you create a test plan, and then it can convert in your project itself. You give the start point, select it on the map, or you can even enter the addresses. You give the endpoint. You select what kind of cable you want. You can create the trenches and ducts together. You give some configurations about how much is the manhole distance or the cable distance or the cable length. You give those parameters. You just click process, and then within seconds, this is able to create the whole network automatically. And there are many more features as well, that it has the ability to actually show you the alternate routes as well, alternate routes along with the cost as well. And then you select it, and you will find that automatically the entire hierarchy of the objects is created automatically. The cables are created, duct, and the trenches, everything is created automatically. So with that, then obviously you want to do the splicing as well. And once you have created the network, you want to do the splicing, and you want to hand over the whole plan to your field team. So in 30 seconds, I'm going to show you the splicing also. It's the same network that you created. You select the manhole, you select the cables on both the sides, and then it presents you with a very intuitive, very user-friendly interface. You select the fiber strands on both the sides. It depicts the fiber with the tubes and the tube colors. You do it manually. You can also do it automatically. You select the whole bunch of fiber strands on both the sides, and then it is able to connect both the sides automatically. And the straight connectivity is performed automatically based on the number of fibers that you give. It's as simple as that. And then you also see, based on the you have the legends telling you which fibers are free, which ones are connected, which ones are faulty. So all that is there, and even de-splicing is also as simple process, just as splicing. And the next step that you do is you export it in Excel sheets, you export it in the PDF, hand it over to your field team to go in the field and do the splicing. All right, so I think then we come to the network construction. Construction is all about creating the network and then assigning the ticket to the third-party vendors, setting the SLAs for them, and then the third-party vendor goes to the field. There is a mobile app, complete mobile app that use that, see the network, make the changes, and submit the the whole completion back to the GIS. And the last process is you perform the QCs. You have the ability to perform the QC. Then you can suggest the changes back. So it's a mobile application. I can show you in just few seconds because I'm conscious of the time. So I will. So it can see the area. It gives you the whole object control, just like browser. Very nice, easy to use object control. You can select what network you want to see, and you have the ability to see the network on your mobile app. You see, you enable the network and you are able to see, and then it gives you the ability to select which object you want to change, and you can make the changes. Then comes the ability to track. There are dashboards available. You can track the changes day-on-day basis. How much did you plan and how much actually the progress is. So you have the ability to track those. Do you perform the acceptance testing? You have the ability to track the performance and the progress of acceptance testing, and you move it to the as-built stage. Once everything done, you move to as-built stage. So whole process is captured. Then we come down next. I hope you are typing in your questions, and we'll just take it in a few minutes. We are reaching towards that phase. So we talk about service qualification, and in the left you see the key features that Lepton Smart Service Qualification offers. You have the consumer services, which is very simple B2C service. The consumer comes to you, asks you for a broadband connection. Within minutes or seconds, you can find out, okay, which is the nearest FAT available, which is the nearest splitter available. Have you got the spare ports? And within minutes you get the feasibility report and provide the feasibility back to the customer. More complex enterprise services, A to B locations. You require fiber, you require the lease lines, you require those services. You search that, you find out what kind of network is available already, whether the entire route is available or there is some segment of the network which is still in the planning stage, which is yet to be planned. So it gives you the estimated cost of creating that network, so that you have the ability to go back to your customer with a proposal that how much cost it will be, how much time it will take. It has the ability to support not only just fiber, even you want to provision on the wireless link, we can do that. Provides the LOS, its ability to create the Fresnel zones and ability to take the elevations and the building heights, finding out the obstructions. Those features are available. You have the ability to do single and bulk feasibility as well. Then you can set the parameters. You can estimate various kinds of cost, be it the ROW cost, construction cost. They're all configured, which help you create the cost proposal. And then there are APIs available to integrate it with the CRM, to get the APIs for the request, send the feasibility back. Those APIs are available, and 3D support is also available to see how the network looks like in the 3D context. So with that, we come to the last part of the system that I want to talk about, which is smart field operation with smart ops. It's a work order management and the field crew management system. Basically, as we discussed in the earlier part, that ability to mobilize the field crew and ability to mobilize the right kind of field crew is instrumental in keeping your MTTR low, mean time to repair, and instrumental in having your network operate at optimum capacity and achieve 24/7 99.99% availability. So it gives you various features. It gives you geofencing. You can allocate user to the areas, which users are belonging to which regions you can allocate. Work order generation, you can generate manually. You can integrate with SAP and the CRM to receive the work orders. Then you have the ability to track the MTTR. You have the ability to track the turnaround time. You can define the SLAs against the ticket types, and then you can also track how many tickets have actually surpassed the SLAs. And then you have automatic assignment and dispatch. Also, you can assign it on various parameters, be it the locational proximity, be it existing workload, be it the availability. You have those features. Leave and attendance management, you can manage that, because when you are assigning the work orders in real time, you need the real time visibility of the availability. So that is there. It is supported by Google Maps. It gives the navigational ability to track the location, real time location of those field crews. So all that is there. And then the ticket resolution and the reporting. A lot of reporting is there. So what you see here is what we talked about. You can see the real time location of the field crews. You can also see exactly that, how many tasks are pending on each of them. Each of those field location, you can see field guys, you can see which tasks are pending and which task is already ongoing, and accordingly then you can allocate the tickets to the person. And there's a whole lot of user management. The complete organizational mapping is there. You can map the organization into the regions, into the areas. You define the area managers, you define the field crew, you define the field engineers, service engineers. So based on the type of ticket, you can define the skills and define the kind of field crews that will be able to do. And there's a whole lot of entire process is mapped. So just about the field app. Yes, field app is there for the crew who are able to see all the tasks. They are able to accept the task. They are able to navigate to the location. They check in, and they have the feature to capture all the information with respect to the ticket. They take the photos. They can note down what they have, what changes they have made, what kind of new inventory is required. So everything is that can be captured and sent back. Dashboards and reports are there. All kinds of dashboard. What are the open tickets? How much time you are taking to resolve a ticket? How many tickets have gone beyond SLAs? And then about the attendance, individual performances, and also the planned route versus the actual route. You can even track, if some of the field crews have been wandering around too much. That also, it's called breadcrumbing or something, that it keeps tracking the location, and you have that ability to track. So I think with that we come to the end of this talk. Probably we now take last 5 minutes for the questions. I'm sure there are many questions that you have got. We take those questions now. In case if we miss out any, yes, I promise that we'll come back to you over the emails. Shri.
Thank you, Shamendra and Rajesh, for this absolutely wonderful presentation. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of insights for our audience from this presentation. So as you said, let's move on to the last session of which is Q&A session. And I can see quite a lot of questions. Few questions I think have been answered by Rajesh. So the first question of what I can see is here is, can you please explain the enterprise SOR? So do you want to take that? Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So enterprise SOR is enterprise system of records. So basically, maybe that was a specific term. So SOR is the system that has all your GIS, all your network data into the system. And records means your fiber network, connectivity information, splicing information, your outside plant. So entire inventory end to end. That is the record, and the GIS system becomes your system of record. So that is what is meant by SOR. So all the records, all the data, starting from the POP, going till the customer location. It could be trenches, ducts, micro ducts, fiber cable, connectivity, manholes, splices, everything. Right? They are the records, and the GIS system is the system of records.
Thanks a lot, Shamindra. And we have another question from the same person. Mr. Satish have asked this question: which open source of GIS are we using?
Okay, so probably what I would do. Usually we do not reveal this, but rather than saying that which we use, I will name a few which are very common, very popular, very robust. Like on the databases, you have got a whole lot of like Postgres. There are so many mapping servers like Map Server, Geo Server, and then there are front-ending technology. So there is an entire stack of open source technologies available that we make use, right from the database engine, application servers, tiling or geo servers, and the user interface that we are able to make use. Probably maybe once we have more close-ended discussion, we can get into that. But we usually do not reveal the specific technology. But it is based on very proven open source technology.
Thanks a lot, Shamindra. And we also have the next question, which is how does the system can save time and cost? I think you have explained, but I think
Yes.
we'll quickly answer that.
Yes. So basically, I will go back to the example that I gave purely about my own experience. That if you have a system which is outdated, or you have no system, what you have to do is to provision. I'm talking about the customer provisioning use case. What you have to do is you have to mobilize somebody to survey. Then you have to find out whether the network is available or not, right? Otherwise, if you have the updated system, straight away, then and there, you are able to do the service qualification. Let's talk about the planning part. If you have in the planning part, if you have the availability of a system which has the ability to show you the latest data, which gives you the ability to plan, then you can avoid, let's say, you can reduce some of the field surveys. You can do planning. You can do a lot more accurate planning, which avoids rework in the field when you actually go to build that, right? Similarly, in the operate phase as well, if you are able to locate the fiber cut very precisely, right, your field engineers can go straight to that fiber cut and fix that. So there also it saves time and cost. So I would say all the use cases, right from planning to the operations, it saves time and cost.
Thanks a lot, Shamindra, for that. And then again, we have one more question, which is, by the way, we have received a couple of demo requests, and certainly these demo requests, we will be connecting with you guys, and we would process further for your demo request. Also, the next question, Shamindra, is what are the benefits of automation against manual planning and design in terms of the percentage cost?
Right. So I would say that straight away it is when it comes to automation versus manual, it's all about it's all about human errors. It's all about those let's take the case. Very simple case I will take. You are planning a network. You plan a manhole, and and the manhole is offset by 10 meters or 20 meters, right? And then you take that plan to the field, and you find that 10-meter offset where the actual by mistake or due to whatever reason, you find that the 10 meter is falling right in front of a driveway or something else, right? So straight away your whole construction plan goes out of it gets into loop. You find that okay, it's not feasible, so it needs to be moved, and you think that where to move, which side to move, all those kind of things. So if you have right kind of business rule and the right kind of automation, the whole of that thing can be avoided. And particularly in greenfield FTTX planning, I think automated is a must, because there is a lot of two levels of splitter planning, a lot of manholes, etc. I'm sure my attendees in this call, they know about that a lot more than I do. So there's a whole lot of planning involved, and automation makes the difference over there.
Just to add on to what Shamindra says, like automation, of course, the time is money. So automation, what we, our solution, and most of the, the commercially available automated solution, you can do thousands of home passes, planning in a matter of 20-25 minutes. If you want to do it manually, it's going to take you several weeks. So I mean, there's a huge saving in terms of the money that you are going to spend on your planner. So that's the kind of advantage that you get. And then even if you have to change the plan, so the reworking and all those things, so all those benefits, and what we have seen is that some of our customers, they are able to plan for a particular city in a matter of few days, which used to take them few months earlier.
Absolutely.
Thanks for that, add-on thing, Rajesh. So the next question is like, what type of API integration do we support, and what data can be fetched from the system?
Right.
You want to take that?
Yeah, I will take that. The APIs, again, I will map it to the process. If you talk about operations, the APIs, typical APIs are integration with the RFMS system for the fiber cut. Then in the assurance or the operations, there are APIs with the NMS system to get the alarms and return back the impact of that alarm in the geographical manner as well as the impacted customer. So that's in the operations. In the same feasibility or the provisioning stage, there we have integration with the CRM that takes the call, the API to get the customer detail, the address details, and returning the feasibility report. So that's what. So basically, there are APIs, I would say, in each of the phase. In the planning phase also, there are APIs available to take some network ticket for the planning based on the customer request. There is a new network plan which is envisaged. So that is also there. Similarly, the whole customer provisioning of new order, then order connection, order deactivation, order shifting, all that whole customer life cycle, the APIs, the whole life cycle is mapped in the APIs. Similarly, ticket management, mobilizing the field crew and raising the trouble ticket. So that also is available.
Thanks a lot, Shamindra. And I think we will take one or two more questions. And but definitely the questions which are unanswered, we are going to answer you privately. Also, I have got a lot of these questions people have asked whether this particular presentation is going to be uploaded on YouTube. The answer is yes. We are going to upload this presentation on YouTube. And in fact, all the attendees who are there in right now, they will be getting the link of this presentation also. So I would request all of you to share that link with your known contacts, and so that even they can get a help of this presentation. So the next question, Shamindra, is are we developing any open source? If yes, then what kind of data security do we provide?
What kind of data?
So do we develop the open source? Okay, if are we developing open source? If yes, what kind of the data security we provide?
Yeah. So basically, are we developing open source? I mean, yes, it is developed on top of open source technologies, and there are some complexities involved with respect to contributing back to the open source community and all that. Probably I will not get into that. But with respect to security, we do have OWASP, that compliance to the OWASP standards, and then top 10 critical vulnerabilities. We have compliance to that. We have third-party certifications, and be it integration with SSO or compliance to TLS protocols. Or I'm not an expert on that, but there are vulnerabilities identified, which is OWASP is the standard for that, and we have the compliance because we usually go by customer implementation to implementation, because there is almost every customer does have a need to comply with their security standards, and also sometimes need for third-party certification as well. So we do that.
Thank you, Shamindra, for that. And just, I think the last question, I think we will take this. In the country like India, where existing road conditions and land base is not accurate, okay, will auto plan by GIS be accurate?
I think that's a great question. And yes, there are challenges with respect to that. Although maps like Google Maps, etc., they have come a very long way in terms of providing the map. And I would say that unless we are going to some of the villages, tier 2 cities, there in that case, what we do is that if the Google Maps or the online maps are not having an up-to-date map, we complement it with our own service, which is called Smart Data, which relies on surveys and some other satellite imagery to create the most accurate and the last level of street detail. We fall back on that to use it for our planning purpose. That's where probably a partner like Lepton actually provides a unique edge, because it's not just about system, but we also provide lot of data related products as well.
Thanks, Ramendra. So on that note, I think we will be ending this presentation, and definitely I would like to answer one thing that people have requested for demo. We will be contacting them personally, and we will take it further from there. So thank you to everyone. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of takeaways you guys have received from this today's event. And as I mentioned earlier, we will be sending the recording of this webinar to all of you, so that you can forward it to the other members of your organization. And also, we will be connecting with all the attendees to offer the free consultation, which I have mentioned it before. And last, if you have any kind of if you need any more information about the product or a free demo, I request you to go on our website. That is www.leptonsoftware.com. I'm going to paste the link, of this webinar link in the chat, so that you guys can, go to the page directly. All right. So yes, that's the end of the show now, and I hope we will be organizing one more webinar next month, and we'll keep you informed about it. Thank you once again, and be safe.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Thanks for your time.